everybody! I hope you're all doing well. I wanted to answer a few questions that came up on my sacral chakra healing video, and they're kind of interestingly interconnected. One of them is, when is ascension going to take place? And the other one is wanting to get my opinion on the symbol of the spiral. And so when is ascension going to take place? When is time, obviously. And the spiral is also a representation of time, but spiral is representation of space and dimension. You can go to different parts of a spiral and find different versions of yourself. I've found doing client sessions, so let's say I'm clearing out an old timeline. So I'm literally clearing out an old timeline. An old timeline is your higher self desires to work on these frequencies within itself. So now you have these experiences over the course of many lives. And these lives can be interconnected with what we would define as future and even further in the past. And that goes up and down the spiral. It goes in the center. So we're always going up and down the spiral. And we're even in our version of the present, working on stuff that could become a future version of ourselves, or we're preparing for the future, or we're working on old stuff. And we're always going up and down the spiral. So we are the whole spiral. So I am the spiral. I am interconnected with all parts of the spiral. So I know it's a bit odd on, you see an image, and how do we interpret that image? How do we relate to it? So this is my relationship with it. So if I clear an old timeline too, even that old timeline that's going up into the future and down into the past, I actually see the soul graduate to a new level of spiral that was always there to begin with. It just didn't have access to it in this way because it hadn't cleaned out this timeline. And this timeline is forever still too. But so what does that mean exactly? I'm only human. All I can explain is as best as I can explain it. So I love that you're bringing up spiral at a time when we're also talking about when is ascension going to take place. The idea of when. So ascension it already has taken place. Ascension, will eventually take place, and ascension is taking place. The best way to see ascension is something that is taking place right now, because it is both past and future. It is taking place. And ascension is a process. We are ascending. You don't just jump to the top of the mountain. As human beings, we have to actually take the time to get there. And to get there teaches us a lot about ourselves and a lot about life. But in addition to that, there's obviously the stars are moving, planets are moving, and there is major influences on how these energies impact our Earth. We already know that the moon creates the waves in the ocean. So there is an impact on how planets and stars affect our Earth. And we're part of the Earth. We're organisms. We're no different than the plants and the animals and the water and everything. We're organic beings. So we too are affected. Our cells are processing and digesting these frequencies on a regular basis. And so this is happening within ourselves, and oftentimes it goes beneath the level of consciousness. So we can't always be aware at the conscious level that ascension is taking place, but you can see that it is taking place. And oftentimes, it depends on what level of choosing to see you are at on the spiral, okay? So some people are choosing to see what is right before their face. Well, I don't know how ascension's taking place because planet's almost dead. We've almost killed everything in the ocean and all the animals and blah, blah, blah. So we're pretty much destroying the planet. We got another 10 years left. So I don't know what you're seeing when it comes to ascension. That's one level of the spiral of sight, okay? Of psychic sight and psychic awareness and frequency of that which you are tapping into dimensionally, connected with all there is, was, and ever will be. Like, it has to do with awareness and frequency and parts of the spiral and time. Okay, so now where I come from, the dimension and the frequencies and the parts of the spiral where my consciousness exists, I experience. It's not about what do I see. It's about what do I experience. And even if the earth were to die, so to speak, I would still experience ascension is taking place, because I'm not connected with the physical reality. I just have a participation in it, but I also know that it's not, time is infinite here. So me being on earth this is just one little tiny little moment, and it's not even a moment. It's like less than that. but I do see ascension is taking place, and I feel it inside myself. I actually do feel it inside myself, because I go through periods of time that don't make any sense. So where I just don't want to be around people, or where I feel depressed for no explainable reason, because everything seems to be great in my life. This is ascension. This is actually ascension, because when these times come that are challenging, and it may not be like an emotional challenge, you may have like headaches, vertigo, you may have weird physical issues that make no sense at all. You know, why am I having leg spasms for the last 3 days? I never get leg spasms. Well, you know, we don't know, but there's something in the process here, and we're having a relationship with the energies in different ways, and we're processing them in different ways. But this is really the purging, the bringing to the surface of something within the self, within the soul, within the frequencies that are yours, that you're holding this place of frequencies. You're bringing it up to the surface to take a look at it, to have a relationship with those feelings, to feel those feelings, to visualize them, to experience them, to nurture them. Leg spasm, I love you. I'm going to drink more water. I know I've been busy. Maybe I've been caught up in something, and now I'm supposed to shift gears and now do something else. So I'm going to relax, and I'm going to stretch. I'm going to drink water, because the energies are asking me to put more love into myself in order to purge whatever is inspiring this issue. I'm telling you, it's like this. And I will say too, I hope you guys don't mind, I'm just like blabbering on, but I've had some really interesting sessions. So if you go to Abbey's Psychic Services on YouTube, you can watch some of these sessions. I'm telling you, I get everything under the sun. So there's psychic development questions, there's land healing and home healing, and crystal attunements, and there's all kinds of stuff. There's just healing of different experiences that are going on within other people. And there was a period of time, this was, I think it must have been last month, where I seem to be running into this, whether it was shared publicly or it was privately. I was running into this a lot for like one straight week, and I was walking into the energy field of the client, and the trauma they were going through was entirely ascension energy related. And I can tell, because frequencies are very specific. Where the human being can be manipulative and we wouldn't know, you could walk into the frequency and you would know it was manipulative, because frequency of manipulation has its own sound and its own feeling. So it can't lie to you, because it already is what it is. So when the energy is, I can tell this is an ascension energy trauma. So let's say I'm feeling being psychically attacked. And I walk in and I'm looking for any type of, demonic energy, negative entities, alien beings, whatever might be in there. And I'm looking. But really, I just keep seeing yourself taking out a lot of stuff on you, an inner version of yourself, taking stuff out on your consciousness, and you're purging up and out all this old suffering from these old lifetimes, and you're trying to ascend to a higher timeline, and we've got to purge this stuff out so you can make the jump to that timeline. But everything else in your reality is going to stay the same. You probably won't even know that took place, but it is happening. This is all an ascension thing. Give me a minute here. I just want to take a minute and kind of catch up with everything I'm talking about. To try to I'm just trying to recap to make sure that it makes sense to you guys. It's a bit, how do I talk about an invisible energy? How do I talk about time exactly and its relationship with an invisible energy? If you're the type of person who's only seeing what's right here, it's not going to make sense. Now, one thing I say to people is love is invisible, but yet it is so visible as well, because we can feel it inside, and the feelings are visibility and access to that loving energy. Love is interesting because love can be painful too, and the love that is painful is teaching us. It's the teacher love. So we got to be in appreciation and acceptance of whatever it is that love is sharing with us. But it's an invisible thing, but yet it's super visible. We can feel it. We can also experience it in our everyday life. Ascension is just like this. Ascension is love. And the coil here of our reality is getting faster and faster and faster. It's like you take water that's frozen and you speed up a little bit, you get water that is lukewarm. You speed up a little bit, it's boiling. You speed up a little bit, it's steam, right? And so the coil here of our timeline, of our ascension, of all this stuff, is going faster and faster, and things are speeding up. We're having to work on things. And sometimes it's like, when is life going to just chill out so I can chill out with it? But you just got to keep working on stuff. And then you realize that life is just supposed to be a process of working on things all the time. So the more you can come to acceptance of that, the easier ascension gets. Because it's just going to speed up more and more. And we're acclimating to those energies. We're becoming more accustomed to the frequencies of turning from ice into water, into boiling water, into steam. So we're ascending our states of being. I hope that this helps bring some awareness to the question, some ideas, maybe some things you haven't thought about. I want to thank you guys so much for watching my video, and I want to thank you for the questions and all the beautiful comments that you all shared with me. If any of you are interested in working with me one-on-one for a psychic session, please visit me at my website at AbbeyNormalsWisdomQuest.com. Okay, thank you all. I hope you all have a great day.